So it was 2 in the morning, and I'm completely just in my bed laying around under the covers, like doing exactly what I've done for the last 4 hours. And that was just doom scrolling. I was just blindly flicking my thumb up the screen, watching 15-second clips of random people doing random things, letting the absolute brain rot wash over me. My mind feels completely numb. My eyes burn, and there's this heavy, familiar fit of guilt just starting to settle in my stomach. And then, right on cue, the algorithm feeds me its absolutely favorite flavor of video. And then suddenly, the screen went black. The music changes, and then suddenly there's another bass drop, and then a voice came out telling me to lock in. Then the voice starts lecturing me. It tells me that if I'm not waking up at 4:30 in the middle of the day and lifting and coding my third side hustle before the sun comes up, then I'm just wasting my life. It treats my entire existence just like a rocket ship, telling me that every single breathing second of my youth has to be optimized, calculated, and used as a launchpad for some richer, more jack version of myself in the future. And then there's just me, lying in the bed and just being in a comfortable position, surrounded by my own stuffed toys. And it hits me. That sudden wave, that desperate wave of midnight panic, you know that exact feeling when you look at your phone, look at your messy room, and you think, that's it. Tomorrow, everything changes. I am disappearing and I am locking in by tomorrow. And so, you ride that massive wave of raw midnight motivation. You sat up, you unlocked your phone, and did the most worst thing possible. You announce it. It could be you texted your friends and told your family, like anyone who could listen, and telling them, like, guys, for real this time, I am changing. No more sugar. 2 hours of studying every single day, hitting the gym consistently, and reading a book a week. Watch me. And obviously, since they're your friends and family, they would text back like, wow, that's awesome. Good for you, man. Good luck in your journey. And right there, you're still lying in your bed and you're feeling this warm rush of dopamine. And in my case, that was exactly what I was feeling. And I felt like anything was possible. But here's the problem, I hadn't actually done a single piece of work yet. I was cashing a price check for an empty box. I was being generously rewarded by my brain for absolutely nothing. On the flip side, maybe a few days later, in my case, one of my friends actually called me out on my BS. He told me that, yeah, sure, you'll quit by Wednesday. And then suddenly, I found myself trying to force consistently out of this pure immature spite. But who was I even doing it for at that point? The imaginary doubters in my head? That's when I dropped the phone, stared at the ceiling, and realized that the first real rule of actually pulling your life together, and it's a quiet piece of philosophy, and that is that tell no one. If you're actually genuinely going to make a change, keep it a secret. Take all that nervous, excited energy and use it to actually do the work in the dark. Let the people in your life discover your consistency through your results and not from status updates. And stop waiting until you feel ready. You don't need more information, a better system, or a perfect Notion calendar. Readiness is a myth. You just have to start while you're messy, tired, and completely unprepared, and figure out the details along the way, just like what I'm doing right now. I did not plan all of this out. and making YouTube videos and doing all of these talks, I'm just going it blinded. But I'm having fun along the way and learning new things. So as I keep trying to push forward, I actually ran right into the second trap of it. When we try to lock in, we immediately go to the extremes. I got completely infatuated with this toxic fantasy of actually disappearing. I picture myself being a famous YouTuber by the end of the day, or going up to a mountain, cutting up the world, isolating myself in a bubble for, like maybe 3 months, and then returning as this unrecognizable genius while everybody claps. But that isn't discipline. That's just insecure vanity. True locking in isn't about running away from your life. It's actually about finding a deep, quiet obsession with the craft itself. Look at anyone who is at top at what they do. They aren't grinding their way through it because an aggressive voice on TikTok yelled at them to suffer. They do it because they love the grind itself. They'll spend just 2 hours of just doing their work. It could be editing for a YouTube video, or maybe they're an influencer in IG perfecting their camera angle, or maybe they are just having fun and enjoying what they do, because the grind itself is what makes it fun. To survive that without losing your mind, you have to trick yourself. You have to grease the grooves of your environment. I mean, let's say if your Xbox controller is sitting right next to your keyboard on the display on the monitor, guess what? You're playing video games. We're a creature of convenience. If you want to build a habit, set traps for your growth. Put the things that you need to do right in your face, and make the bad habit as friction heavy and inconvenient as humanly possible. Hack your own weird tendency instead of actually fighting them. But here's the turning point of the story. And it's the part where the productivity gurus will never tell you. As the weeks went by, I realized that maybe you spent your entire youth optimizing every single breathing second for a future launchpad, you could say. Then you'll just miss the entire point of actually being alive. Time is ticking. Life is like a moving train, and you can't pause it. But if you treat every single day as just a means to an end, if you only go into nature to lower your cortisol so you can go back inside and grind harder, if we only make friends with people who share your level of ambition, you're building a very efficient, very hollow cage for yourself. You don't need to launch 3 business, run a half marathon, or read 40 books by next month. Instead, find the middle ground. Give your life an anchor. Pick exactly one small daily challenge that has absolutely nothing to do with making money or boosting your career. You could learn to draw over your morning coffee, or play tennis or basketball once a week, or maybe you could practice an instrument for 30 minutes. Do your one thing to give the day a solid shape so you don't rot in your bed. And that exact moment that one thing is done, the optimization stops. Go live an optimized, undocumented life. Go to a diner at 11 p.m. with your friends and drink maybe milkshakes. Drive around with your windows down. Or say yes to the random text in the group chat for something spontaneous, or a road trip that someone half jokingly threw out there. Or maybe you could sit in a park when the evening light gets long. Or you could just leave your phone completely inside your backpack and don't take a picture for Instagram. Just exist there. See, I look at people who hit their 30s and 40s calm, stable, and genuinely happy. They aren't the ones who spent their 20s grinding themselves into ash for a career launchpad that never quite launched. They are the ones who build a completely different, boring foundation. They have hobbies that don't make a single thing, friends that they've known for years, and the rare, beautiful ability to sit quietly on a Saturday afternoon without spiraling into anxiety about not being productive. Locking in is a weapon. It's an incredible tool to focus on your craft, clear out the noise, and do excellent work. But don't turn that weapon on your own life. Pour the concrete for your daily anchor. Do your work and then turn off the screen. Go outside and jump in the river or taste the mangoes in your neighbor's tree if they have one. So, build a life that you can actually stand to live in.